Jordan, when we think cacao, we think about chocolate. How is it different from chocolate?
So cacao is the main ingredient in chocolate, but in any kind of commercial chocolate bar that we might find on the shelves in our supermarket, we're only really getting maybe 5% cacao if we're lucky. As we know, chocolate is full of other kind of additives like sugar, milks, other kind of preservatives. It's also actually a completely different form. So what most people put in chocolate bars is cacao powder, a mixture of cacao powder and cacao butter. But cacao itself, ceremonial cacao, is the full bean, which is in its full pure form as nature intended. So just finding a comfy position and closing down the eyes and beginning to take some deep breaths in.
So how would you describe the taste of cacao?
It's very bitter, very earthy. Most people, when they try cacao for the first time, they're thinking it's going to taste like a hot chocolate because it looks like a hot chocolate and it smells like it, but of course it doesn't have all of these extra additives. A lot of people can find it quite strong and overpowering, but I find it delicious. I guess it's more of an acquired taste, and I would compare it more to coffee in its bitterness.
What a beautiful texture.
It is. It can come in many textures, so a lot of the times it might be quite bitty and piecey. It had lots of bits and pieces in it, but I've kind of perfected the recipe, I think, to make it really luxurious and nourishing for the body. And I discovered cacao as a part of a wider retreat, and it was like it had all different pieces in it. It wasn't sweetened at all. It was like just this big pot of medicine. And something in my body it was like food for my soul. You know, it was like when your body just receives something, and every cell in my body was kind of like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. When you're ready, just taking your cacao down and resting it in your lap. And you can close down the eyes again, and we'll just start to connect to the medicine in our cup.
So physiologically, it has an impact on the actual nervous system.
Yeah, so the benefits of cacao definitely lend themselves to that feeling of relaxation. And how that works is cacao increases blood flow to the brain and to the heart. It's a vasodilator, so it opens up the blood vessels, sends that fresh oxygenated blood around the body. You know, coffee, as a comparison, is a vasoconstrictor. So it kind of has that sensation of like tightness and constriction, whereas cacao is relaxing, opening. It's super high in magnesium, iron, calcium, so the magnesium is helping to relax the physical muscles, and the iron is helping to send this rich, beautiful, fresh blood around the body. It also contains some incredible happy hormones. So cacao contains the precursor to serotonin, contains dopamine and anandamide, which is otherwise known as the bliss molecule. The other thing that is actually my favorite thing about cacao is super special mechanism. It contains monoamine oxidase inhibitors, and what they are.
Fancy word.
or MAOs. A lot of people might recognize MAOs as being the first, before SSRIs became the main go-to for antidepressant medication, it was MAOs. And what MAOs do is they basically slow down the breakdown of serotonin in the body. So we're getting that hit of all those amazing chemicals, those bliss hormones, and we're able to experience them for much longer and basically have this sensation of being high off our own supply. So that's the sensation.
I mean, it sounds amazing, and I would like some of that.
Bringing your cacao to your lips to take your first sip. People say that 50% of the medicine is in the sharing and the connection that you have with the people following. So the qualities of cacao lend themselves to helping us to relax in our nervous system. And as we know, being vulnerable and open is really what lends itself to deep connection. How are you feeling?
Mostly feel very warmed sort of internally, I suppose.
How did you find the taste?
It's beautiful. It's actually exactly what I imagined it would be.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but so creamy. I do have to say that we as people forget about food as nourishment and food as for the soul. And I love that you have reintroduced that to me. And meditation is my daily practice, and this is a completely different way of being returned to who I am and the sensations that are within. You know, you're warming me with the cacao, which really sets alight all of my internal sensations physically, but also spiritually and from my heart. So that's really beautiful. Thank you, Jordan.
You're so welcome.